Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So last week I was in Madison, Wisconsin and had an awesome time. I was able to pick up some local beers. I've been kind of collecting Oktoberfest, pumpkin ales, Marzens, basically like fall seasonal beers. And I'm starting to get to where I got like a lot of them. I've been collecting now for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I brought back I think like 6. So I was going to add some of those into like the lineup for this week, but I kind of want to do a little tasting of all of them at once. So I'm either going to try to get some friends together or, I don't know, be wasting a lot of beer because there's no way I'm going to get through them all. But anyway, the more to come on that in a future video. As for this week, this is what I have. I have Sharps NA. This is, I guess, I would call an OG from Miller when it comes to non-alcoholic beers. I did grab a 12-pack of O'Doul's as well. Growing up, like Sharps and O'Doul's, I think were like the only real NA options that were out there. I think I've had this before, don't remember what I thought of it. So anyway, this week's going to be the Sharps. Next week will be O'Doul's, kind of the battle of the OG NAs. So go ahead and take a closer look. All right, so I'm kind of curious. I like Miller products. I don't know how much this is going to taste like a Miller product. We're going to go with Das Boot. This is a 2-liter. I'm going to get these poured up. In the meantime, why don't you check out the beers I have lined up for this weekend. All right, so we got this poured up. This is just about 5 beers here. You can put a tiny bit more than that in here. I think this holds 64 ounces. So if you want to wait for the head to die down, you can sneak a little bit extra in there. But this is actually, it looks like a pretty proper pour to me. I'm going to have a taste of this. Yeah, that's super light. And I mentioned in the last video that all these NA beers have this common kind of sweet, I don't know, I'd say like malty taste at the end. It's kind of like, oh, this one has it like big time. So anyway, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably some kind of a, I don't know, grain or something that's in there. But they all seem to have it. And I've read a little bit about NA beers being made. This thing's so cold it's sweating. I think whenever they get rid of the alcohol or something like that, I don't know, you end up with a sweeter beer, I don't know, something like that. I'm not a brewmaster, but anyway, there's something to the process that ends up making these beers slightly sweeter, and I think that's probably what's going on here. But I noticed that flavor is masked better in some of the hoppier NA beers that I've had. As far as the beers that I'm having this weekend, I made a little list over here to kind of a cheat sheet. Hop Butcher came out with Face Peeler. It came out a day early this week, so I picked it up on Wednesday. I normally don't drink until the weekends, but this week I was kind of like all bets are off, and I had some beers earlier this week, that being one of them. The one I bought was fantastic. I heard mixed reviews as far as some people said they didn't like, they didn't like it, and I thought it was phenomenal. It's a triple IPA that drinks like a double. I mean, it's not super heavy or overly sweet, and the hops are awesome on it. It does have Strata hops. It has like 4 or 5 different hops in it, and unfortunately, I have a hard time determining what hop flavor is what, like I don't get enough single hop beers to really know which hops I prefer. But when you get a big blend like this, for me, I'm always like, how's it going to be? In this case, it's super dank. It has like a little bit of that grassiness to it. I know some people like that. I don't really dig it, and I don't know what hop gives that flavor. So, but overall, I think it's an awesome beer. I love the way it drinks like a double, but hits you like a triple. It's 10.25%, so it's a big hitter, but it drinks like it's their typical 7.5, and the sweet level's totally acceptable for me. I'm not a big fan of sweet beers, as you guys have probably learned by now. So it's not overly sweet, and the hops are super dank. I did manage to grab that 3 Floyd's Crom's Beard. I'm excited for that. Actually, I tried it, so I can already tell you. I do like it. I had a feeling I really like Strata hops, and this was a single Strata hop beer. I thought it was really good. I wish they had more hops in it, which kind of surprises me as far as, Three Floyds typically, they over-hop their beers, at least with bitter hops. It's been the case for me. But anyway, I think they could have probably hopped it up even more. It would have been even more enjoyable, but the flavor was great. And then I grabbed that Maplewood Sidewalk Surfer. That's a double with Strata in it. Haven't had that. Looking forward to it. Whiskey Hill, Rainbow Scales. Looking forward to that as well. And then the Phase 3 Tonal Range and what is it? Triadic Harmonies. The Triadic Harmonies, I believe, is their triple. I haven't had that yet, but I did sneak a Tonal Range in earlier this week. I think like Thursday. Anyway. That's Mosaic and Citra, and the claim is that it was supposed to be a less sweet beer than they've typically been putting out, and I'll agree it was, but it was still kind of sweet for me. Phase 3 recently, like I'm a big fan of their beers, but I'm kind of a bigger fan of their older beers actually, when they put lactose in it. All their recent double IPAs have been dairy free, which I think is cool, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that. I'm not lactose intolerant, and I personally don't like when they use a lot of lactose in beer, but in the case of their doubles lately, it's been, for me anyway, been overly sweet. Like it's almost like confectionery sugar sweet, like powdered sugar sweet. It's an odd kind of sweet for me, and honestly, like I haven't really enjoyed a whole lot some of the recent offerings. It's kind of disappointing. As far as my favorite Phase 3 IPAs, going back to like their beginnings, they released something called Adhara, and then I was just thinking of this earlier. Perpetual Sounds. Sorry, total brain fart. I was just thinking of this earlier, and I'm like, I gotta mention it. They have done Perpetual Sound, I think like Sound 2 or 3 times, and I love it, man. That's probably my favorite Phase 3 that they've done, and Adhara, I think, was released. They released both of those at the same time, the first time they came out together, and I thought they were amazing. I loved it. And then they stayed consistently good for quite a while, but recently I feel like their beers are just like, it's a different kind of sweetness. They pulled out the lactose, but whatever they're sweetening their beer with, it's just like, it's like super sweet. Like it's not just like they're heavy or sugary. It's like they're just, I don't know. Anyway, this Tonal Range is definitely less of that than what their current offerings have been, but it still has that flavor, that overly sweet flavor, even though they've dialed it way back. So I'll give them credit like for going less sweet on that, but lately I kind of wish they would, I don't know, just get rid of whatever the uber sweet flavor is that they're putting in there. Like I said, it's like confectionery sugar or like powdered sugar. It does not taste like just sweet. It's like insane sweet. So anyway, not my thing. I don't like sweet beers. So lately I've been a little disappointed. I'm sure other people love it. And I guess it's the beauty of beer is that we all taste things differently. So hopefully the things that I recommend or say I like, some of you guys can relate to, and that drives you to buy or try some of these beers. I find that's the best thing for me. Like I'm not awesome at giving beer descriptions, and sometimes people give amazing beer descriptions, and I try it based on the description they give me, and I don't like it. But what I do find is that there's certain people out there, when they tell me that something's good, I realize that we've connected enough on certain beers, that I can kind of look at their recommendation and say, yeah, this is probably going to be really good. So anyway. Tonal Range I thought was pretty good for, all things considered. I would definitely drink it again. Matter of fact, I bought another one, so I do have another one for the weekend. And as far as that face peeler from Hop Butcher, I thought it's fantastic. I bought the first one on Wednesday, I drank it, and then I bought 2 more on Thursday. I drank those on Friday, and then just this morning I ran out and grabbed a 4-pack before they're all gone. So I do have a 4-pack for the weekend. I don't know if I'll drink them all this weekend, but it's such a great beer. And then the Crom's beard, like I said, I bought another one of those as well. So basically, the lineup that you saw is exactly what I'm going to have. The question is am I going to have one face peeler or all 4 of them? I don't know. Oh, excuse me. This is also really highly carbonated. I'm burping, and all I had was a sip. So I'm a little nervous actually about this beer. There's a lot of beer for something that might be miserable. So anyway, let me get this down. And cheers, guys. Whew. Oh. Whew. Wow, it was close. Man, ice cold, starting to grab my throat there. Like I was getting hard to swallow. Let me kill this. Man, 2 sips away, but it was super cold and super carbonated. Out of all the NA beers, this might be like the lightest of them all. I mean, it was really just like water, but this was like ice cold going down, and my throat was on fire. So I don't know, not a super successful chug, but we got it done. Anyway, I guess if this was all that was out there in NA beer, you didn't have a choice, great. It's not a horrible flavor. It's just extremely light. And I guess with it ice cold like that, that kind of masks flavor anyway, which is probably a good thing, I'm guessing. I probably wouldn't buy that again. And I know when I was a kid, my dad would drink these on occasion. My dad wasn't much of a drinker, so, or isn't. He drinks regular beer now. It's kind of odd, right? When he was in his 40s and 50s, it was like we'd go out for dinner. He'd have like a Sharps, you know, with his pizza. And then now it's more like normal beer. But anyway, yeah, not a huge fan. Not necessarily against it either. I probably just wouldn't buy it again. I don't get in the habit of buying a lot of NA beers. But if I was in circumstances where I had to have it, I guess it's better than no beer. But it wouldn't be my first option if I had choices. So anyway, guys, as always, have fun, be safe, chug beers, don't catch the bug, and I'll see you guys next week.